Hello the internet and welcome to Diabetic. Today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a little talk about the LibreLink app, which is a app designed to scan the Libre sensors, which I've got just here, and I think that it's probably a better way to do a blood test, if I'm honest. So far I've got on well with it. I've had it for the past 10 days and it's just been a way of life. It's not getting in the way, and I think that it is managing my diabetes a lot better than I could do with just a blood test on its own. The main benefit of having this Libre sensor is that it records 8 hours of data, whereas a normal blood test is just a screenshot of what your blood is doing whenever you take a blood test. So if it's 6.5, you don't know whether it's coming down from 10 rapidly or if it's just shooting up from 5. So if you was to inject for that and you get it wrong, then it's going to be a costly mistake if you was driving or if you was out walking, riding the bike, doing anything exercise related. The main reason I decided to go for the Libre sensor itself was because I found out there is an app for it available on Android only at the moment. The app is the LibreLink app, which I'll put a link in the description at the bottom for you to click and download if you have Android. And so far my experience from it is that it's really working out well. I will quickly demonstrate now how simple it is to test your blood using the LibreLink app. All you need to do is have your phone open. It doesn't need to be on the app, which is just on the left hand side there, but as long as the phone is open you can just hold it against your arm and take a blood test, kind of like this. So you can see here I've got the sensor on, that's the back of my right arm, and on the back of my phone here the near field communication chip is somewhere in this area. So as long as I just touch that on the back, it buzzes and it tells you how high your blood is. So at the moment it's showing that it's 6.4 and the arrow is a steady arrow, which means it's good, it's not too bad. And you can see the past few results on here, and you've got the whole graph there, so you can see what it's been doing for the past 8 hours, and the little dots which are color coded, that is the previous results. This next part of the video is just going to be me talking. You'll just hear my voice and I will screen record my phone so you'll be able to see exactly what is going on the app, and I'll detail and tell you what is happening on each of the screens. Right, okay. I will now open the LibreLink app just by tapping it. There we go. It's like a normal app, it loads straight away. So on the screen here you can see there's a big graph in the centre. It's pretty eye-catching. It shows you where your results have been, where they've gone, and how well you have been as a diabetic, obviously. Which you can see my results, they're not great. They're a little all over the place. Some are higher than what I want them to be. Most of them are higher than what I want them to be, if I'm honest, from this picture here. And you can see at the top it tells you what percentage of the time your results was where you want them to be. So you can see that my time and target was 33%, which is not ideal really. I could do a bit better than that. And it says that my last scan was 1609 and that my average is 7.7. So what happens is it takes an average of all your results and then it sort of works it out and puts it at the top there so you can see what it was. And then it tells you a bit more information on the bottom about your sensor ends in 4 days, which it starts off with 14, obviously it's a 14-day sensor, and those little bars, they sort of fade away and then eventually you've got to replace the sensor. Which now I'll show you the menu. So if I tap on the menu at the top there, it's got obviously all the bits and bobs here for your reports. It tells you there's a lot of data here, so you can see that it's got your daily patterns, time and target, low glucose events, average glucose, daily graph, your estimated HbA1c, and then your sensor usage. So I'll start off with the daily patterns, which, here we go, if I tap on the 14-day there, so I've had it for 14 days, it's a bit better. So you can see where your blood has been high and low, and you can see there's quite a distinctive pattern here. So between 6 and 9 AM
there's a bit of a spike. That's when sort of breakfast happens, it goes up. Then sort of towards lunchtime, you can see it comes down again, and then it creeps up. So around 6 p.m. every day is pretty high. So that's what I need to improve on, and I can see from this app what is happening, and I can adjust my insulin, which I will do, because 6 p.m. is when I do my long-term insulin. So if I adjusted that, if I moved it to 10 p.m, which I think I might do, I'll see if that alters, and then if it steadies my results at all. So that's what I can play around with. Thanks to this app, I can experiment a bit more, see if I can get my results into the target, which that's the good thing about it. You can see what's happening and you can adjust, and then you can work out what's going on and then make your diabetes better. Right, the next bit is your time and target. So you can see here how your results look and how much of the time they're spent in what band. So if I tap it again to 14 days, you can see that most of the time it's not where I want it. The green in the middle is between 4 and 8. You've got this sort of target range at the bottom just there, and the rest of the results, they're obviously, some are a bit lower, some are a bit higher. The higher ones are what you've got to be concerned about really, but it's obviously something that I can now improve on. Now I've got this app, I can find out and experiment. The next bit, this is your low glucose events. So you can see where you've had hypos, what time of day it was, and it's obviously all listed here. Then you've got your average glucose. So this is obviously set by time of day. You've got all your results put on here in an average, and you can see where you was different times of day. So where I've got my spike, you can sort of see here around sort of 6 p.m, that's where it's the highest. So if I adjust my insulin a little bit more, then I should be able to bring that down a bit. You've got your daily graph, which you can flick through, and you can see how you've got on, which some of these results are pretty terrible, but it's something I can work on, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Got your estimated HbA1c on the next screen, so mine's 6.9. Hopefully the diabetes nurse won't moan too much about that one. So this has to gather plenty of information from the sensor in order to get this to work. So it won't work for the first few days, but after a week or so this comes up and gives you your reading. And then the last screen, this is your sensor activity, your usage of your sensor rather, and you can see that I've had, this is the 7 day. If I go on to the 14 day here, there you go, 190 scans, average 14 scans a day, and then it's collected 79% of the data. So what that means is the sensor has an 8-hour memory. So when you scan, all the data from the past 8 hours is sent to the phone. If you've already scanned a few hours before that, obviously it just picks up from where it's left off. So if you're like a lion and you have slept for more than 8 hours, then some of that data would be missing. So if you slept 9 hours a day, you'd lose 1 hour of the sensor's data per day, obviously, which obviously it's not too bad. You can see where you've been most of the time, and for most people that probably won't matter too much. But yeah, you can see that 190 scans is a lot more than I'd ever do in 2 weeks with blood tests alone, because that would just hurt too much, and it just take too much time. Where this is a much faster way to take a blood test, it takes seconds, so it's much easier, and you can do a lot more scans.
I hope that has helped many of you in understanding what the LibreLink app can do. About a month ago I was really unsure whether I should bother going for this or not, as you have to pay for the sensors. They're not cheap, they're £50 a go, and they only last 2 weeks, which I was a bit worried. I thought, is it going to be worth it? And so far, the amount of use that I've got from it and the data that I've collected, and I can see what's been happening, I feel that it's definitely worth it, and I will continue to use it. And now I know that you can use the sensors just from the app, I am happy. I looked into the Freestyle Libre blood testing kit, which the starter pack comes with. You get the blood tester and you get 2 sensors, and I think it's around £160 if you're in the UK. Obviously if you're watching this abroad it's going to be different, but it's £160, and I thought it's not too bad of a figure for something that now I think is so useful. But I'm happier that I can do it on my phone, as I've always got my phone with me. It's part of my life. I take it everywhere, and it takes seconds to hold your phone against your arm, check your result, and you know exactly what you are. So if you're out and about, you can just scan it. If you're wearing clothes, it will just go for your clothes. You haven't got to worry about doing blood tests or finding somewhere where people aren't watching you, and it just makes life a lot easier. So if you've got diabetes and you're wondering whether you should bother with this, if this is going to obviously help you make a decision, then I'm glad it has. But so far, I think that's really helped me. Thank you for watching, and I will continue to wear this, and hopefully it will change my life, and hopefully it will change yours too.